There are two main ways to approach singing minor melodies when using solfege with movable do. The first is called la-based minor. It's commonly used with younger singers, or singers with less music theory background because it usually requires fewer altered syllables, and it builds on the knowledge of the major scale rather than jumping into a lot of extra details about how the minor one is constructed. In la-based minor, you sing solfege just as you would in the relative major key. For example, let's take C major. We can sing from C to C, or do to do, and have a major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If we move to the relative minor, which is A minor, we can still use the same solfege. However, this time our scale will go from la to la. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. That's the natural minor scale in la-based minor. Do-based minor takes into account the role of do and sol in defining key. Do-based minor maintains the tonic as do rather than centering it on la. It requires the singer to know how the scale has been modified from the major at all times. We should take a brief moment to talk about solfege syllables for chromatic singing. We know do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If we want to alter any of these notes, for example, if we were raising or lowering one by a half step, we would need to alter the syllable to reflect the change. Generally speaking, a raised note ends in the sound E with the letter I at the end, and a lowered note ends in the sound A with the letter E at the end. So for example, mi, when lowered, becomes me. Ti, lowered a half step, becomes te. And la becomes le. Fa, raised a half step, becomes fi. And sol, raised a half step, becomes si. Though others are possible, these are the most common alterations you'll see, especially in minor keys. Let's go back to A minor, and instead of starting on la, let's call A do, since it's our tonic pitch, and do-based minor uses the name of the key as do. Before we sing, we need to know what pitches have been altered from the major scale. The 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees have been lowered to create the minor scale. To see this, look at A major. 3 sharps, 1 on the 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees. If we take those away, we have our minor scale. To reflect these lowered pitches, our solfege will change. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's our natural minor scale in do-based minor. Now, let's incorporate the harmonic and melodic minor into this context. In a major scale, we know T as the leading tone. The half step gives us great tension in the scale and pulls us back to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can think of harmonic minor as natural minor that borrows the T, or the leading tone, from the major key. In the case of A minor here, that's a G sharp. This creates an interval called an augmented second. It's written like a second, but in reality it's a minor third because the notes are 3 half steps apart. First, let's sing in do-based minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now, let's try it in la-based minor. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, si, la, si, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. Notice notice that the 7th scale degree is what we've raised, so in both instances, T or C, we've used the solfege syllable that corresponds to the raised pitch. Melodic minor is similar to harmonic minor with a few notable differences. Like harmonic minor, melodic minor raises the 7th scale degree to give us the leading tone. It also raises the 6th scale degree. This means that when you sing an ascending melodic minor scale, the only note that's different from the major scale is the 3rd scale degree. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or la, ti, do, re, mi, fi, si, la. The trick is that when we sing a descending melodic minor scale, we use the notes of the natural minor scale, meaning that our 6th and 7th scale degrees that were raised going up are now lowered on the way down. Let's try first in Do-based minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, te, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And now in La-based minor. La, ti, do, re, mi, fi, si, la, sol, fa,